In our training philosophy, we like to think of endurance training as a journey, where the journey is as beneficial to you as the final destination. That is, your main race. Like any journey, if you do not know where you are, then it's going to be much more difficult or even impossible to reach your end goal. So, it's crucial that you define your starting point. Today, we will discuss perspectives like your mental and physical makeup, as well as your skills and abilities. We will also provide you with a tool to assess your mental skills. Okay, Vilja, how can we define the baseline?
As Joachim said, endurance training is a journey, and this journey starts with you. Everybody's starting point is different, and that is great because, well, we're all different, and that's the beauty of the journey. Now, let's define our starting point. We will talk about your mental makeup, meaning to be successful in endurance sports, you need to be able to overcome mental obstacles. Your physical makeup, well, your physical makeup will have a profound effect on how you start your endurance training. And your abilities. Which skills do you need to train? For example, if you're an excellent cyclist but an average swimmer, then you may need to work harder on your swimming. So, let's dive into the beautiful mind of an endurance athlete. Endurance training is all about commitment. You have to be willing to spend hours doing the same thing over and over and over again over a long period of time. This is impossible to avoid. And for that to happen, you need to have a balanced and positive mindset, in combination with the right ambitions for you as an athlete. So, I have 3 questions that I need you to think about before we even start your journey. The first is, why endurance sport and not anything else? Endurance sport is a big commitment and a big effort, which is why you really have to do some soul searching and decide whether this is for you. The second question is, are you willing to put the time into it? There will be a lot of training hours, but also you need time for recovery, and trust me, you will have a lot of laundry to do, and of course other gear maintenance. And finally, do you have the support? Gain approval. Our goal is for you to succeed, and for you to succeed, you need to prepare yourself and your loved ones. Your ability to reach your goal is dependent on support from those around you. As marathon world record holder Eliud Kipchoge puts it, 100% of me is nothing compared to 1% of the entire team. So, with your eyes on the prize and your loved ones on board, it's time to start looking at the physical aspects.
To begin with, endurance training is a continuous hard work over time, usually a long period of time. There's no secret sauce, or at least, as we know, legal shortcut. Sometimes you do the same thing over and over for hours, and it will put a lot more stress to your body than you used to. Your body will of course get better to cope with the workload over time, and well, that is the essence of why you're training. All in all, you have to make sure that you can handle the extra stress without getting overtrained or injured. So, to create the best conditions, we really recommend that you do a test of your functional strength and mobility. As part of this, you want to understand what asymmetries and limitations your body may have. With that knowledge, you can set up a preventive routine and train for a more optimal movement pattern. This will also help you to tune in with your ambitions, so that it correlates better with your abilities. Okay, Villa, what about personal abilities?
To better understand who you are as an endurance athlete, the next thing is to do a map of your background as an athlete. To start with, write down the sports individually to assess your capabilities. Say that you are doing a triathlon. Then map out swimming, cycling and running. Or, if you're a swim runner, do the same thing but with swimming and running. Assess both your overall results and if you are stronger or weaker in terms of endurance, in force or in speed. This should give you a rough idea of what you need to improve on, early on in the season, and it's important to be realistic about your abilities, because if you overestimate or underestimate, then you may find it difficult to correct your training further down the line.
Now, you have a better idea of how you can think about your baseline and why it's important to define it. If you need some help to start, feel free to download and use our tool. It is a way for you to point you in the right direction by assessing your mental skills. It includes 30 Likert scale questions, and it will handle perspectives like motivation, confidence, thought habits, focus, and visualization. All of those play a vital role in your performance. Again, note that the result from the test is more of a pointer to your strengths and weaknesses than a robust scientific result. So with all this in mind, now it's time for you to prepare for your endurance journey.